Good morning and welcome to Money Talks with Stephen Diedrichs here from Taxile Limited, your local, national and international accounting and trust services firm. We also focus quite a lot on IRD debt negotiation, where we represent clients and suggest to IRD that they write off or remit a lot of the tax debt and penalties. So we've had recently quite a number of successes with that. But today we're here to talk about Money Talks, and I'd just like to thank Ken and his team and the trustees and all the donors to Radio Kidnappers for the support they provide to Money Talks and to the other programs. And I feel truly blessed and grateful for that. So this looking at this time where we are, there's about 10 weeks to go in the year, which is I think about 75 days, but more scary, 1,200 waking hours before we get to 1 January 2020. And I thought it'd be a good time to talk about our goals for 2020 and beyond. Now, I'm sure many of you would have heard about goals and planning them as you come to 1st of January. Many people think of it as New Year's resolutions, but I want to focus on why we should do them and look at it from a financial slant. I think that's quite important. So many of us have achieved some goals during the year already, so just take a moment, think about that, and keep them in the front of your memory bank. I think that's quite important, because when you start to look at your goals for 2020 and beyond, and if you make some big goals, you may find that there's some negative thoughts that come into your mind and go, "Ooh, I don't know if I can do that." So that's why I think it's important to recall the goals that you've already achieved during 2019 and just look at that and go, yes, I did that, so I can do bigger goals. Also, you may recall in employment, you may have an employer say, let's have a stretch goal as well. What they mean there is they just want a bigger goal, and they want you to do a bigger goal. So if you're going to do that for your employer, you might as well do it for yourself as well. I think that's a good thing. So so that's bit of our the goals. So getting back to the reasons we need them, right? And what I think are the financial reasons to go through and have 2020 goals. I think many people have forgotten the 2008 global financial crisis and think, oh, look, that's a long time ago. And some people may have thought, yes, I remember that, and I've taken steps to put myself in a better position should anything similar occur in the future. Well, that's a great thing for you if you've done that. You should be congratulated. That's great. Something to keep in mind is that whatever happens around you also affects you in your finances. And I think last month I spoke about health, and where you may be in great health, but if people around you are not in such good health, then you will also, or we will also pay for that, basically through our taxes, because people that are sick, they cannot take care of themselves. The other thing is, just this morning on the radio, I heard the commentators talk about more and more people going on government benefits. So that, just following through with health, is that we will have to pay for that, and we do that through our taxes or through cuts through the health system, education, or roads. So those are things to keep in mind. And then when you look at your goals for 2020 and beyond, it's looking at it effectively with an ultimate view to moving out of what's termed a middle class to a wealth class, so that if there are whatever the effects are from the economy and the people around us, that you are more secure in your finances and with your goals for 2020. Now, I'll just pause and say, look, I'm glad we live in a country where if people need to go on benefits, that we can provide them with that benefits. I think it's a great thing, because you always will want to do that. But like I mentioned, to support them, we have to do that through our taxes and reductions in other government support. So in New Zealand at the moment, the Reserve Bank has placed the official cash rate at 1%. So basically, they've got interest rates at 1%, and it could go down, but nobody knows what they will do. But there has also been talk about relaxing the lending restrictions on banks. So where people who normally require, say, a deposit of 20% before they can buy a house, there's talk about maybe relaxing it so that people only need a deposit of less than 20%, say 10% or 5%. I don't know what the number is going to be, but it's it would be less than 20%. The thing with that is, if somebody can't afford to buy a house and have the deposit of 20%, it'd be quite difficult, a bit more difficult for them with them only requiring a 5% or a 10% deposit. So if they can't make the mortgage, the bank's going to foreclose on the house again. And, we go back to a situation similar to 2008. Now, of course, I hope that doesn't happen. But what's important to remember is that this is happening and proposed to be happening in our economy at the moment. So when you go ahead and plan your goals for 2020 and beyond, it's important to look at where you want to go and keep that in mind, so that you do plan your financial goals so that you protected going forward. But not only protecting you, it's knowing that you are affected by the other things that happen in the economy and by the things that other people do or don't do. For example, don't take care of their health the way you may, then you will have to pay for that as well. So that's that's just an important thing to keep to remember. I want to move on to a different thing with in relation to time and basically how we spend our money and how we spend our money during the week. So how we earn our money. Now, there's been a lot of research done by various people on this particular topic, but I'll just start with, I want to show you this, something which I just put together quickly, a quick table. And you can see on the table there's it's the week's broken up, 5 days per week, and we generally work 8 hours a day. And it's got there, housing on Monday, and Tuesday, which goes through to part of Tuesday, and then it's transport and things like our health and electricity, and and paying off debt and child support, and some savings and food and for our food. So just I'll keep that up there while I talk about it. I'm not sure if you can see it all, but it's there. Okay, so you can see that some of the stats and how I came up with this. I looked at the stats in Stats New Zealand over a number of years, and they showed how much people earn on average on a weekly basis, and how much people spend on things like housing, transport, electricity, food, and that's how I worked out where you earn this money during the week. So, for example, we go to work, and for all of Monday and half of Tuesday, we pay for our housing. That's where we spend our money that we earn in the week. And then when we get through to half of Tuesday and part of Wednesday, so it's a whole day, we earn money. One day in the week we earn money just for transport, so just to take us to a job that we may or may not like, but one day's worth of wages goes to that transport. The funny thing about that, which got out of New Zealand stats, is that buying a second-hand car actually costs on average about $930 more than if you buy a brand new car. So someone that's wealthy is more likely to buy a brand new car, and if you look at that alone, at the end of the year, that's going to put them at least more than $900 better off than someone buying a second-hand car just with the constant upkeep. Then we get to the second part of Wednesday. We work about 2 hours to pay for our electricity and another 2 hours to pay for our health for the week. And after Wednesday, we over the hump, so they call it hump day. Then we need a bit of a break, and we come to Thursday. We have entertainment and and holidays. So we work half the day to pay for that. The second half of the day of Thursday, our money goes to our childcare, pay off debt, miscellaneous expenses, and notice there it's savings sits in there as well, which is kind of interesting because I'd have thought that savings is normally the first thing on a Monday morning that we would work for. And then on a Friday, we work all day Friday just to get our food that we need to survive. So, which is quite interesting because if you look at that, that's we'll work 1/20th of the week for food, and if you look at our ideal needs, you go, well, we only really do need food and some shelter, but you could even do away with shelter, but we need food. So to sustain ourselves and to sustain our health, we only really need to work 1/20th of our life for that, so 1 day a week. Now, I'm not saying that we should go off the grid and just get food and forget about the rest, because I believe we should stay in the grid. And if you look at even billionaires like someone like Richard Branson and Steve Jobs, they went and put shoes on and wore suit and tie at various stages to make their billions of dollars. So I'm definitely not saying don't go off the grid. But the key with that is if you look at, okay, so this is where my money's going through the week, and you can see there how much it goes to housing and all this and your entertainment and things, and they're quite important. So what you may want to try and do when you work through your goals for next year and beyond is look at if you can earn enough money where you can, say, pay for all these things by, if you can pay for it all by Wednesday, then that means that you have Thursday and Friday where you can spend that time or that particular income just working more towards your goals, or if you want to leave a legacy in the future, you have that that time to do that. So because you've got all your expenses covered. So it's just so hopefully the table just gives you another way of looking at how your money is broken up and where you're spending your money through the week, so that you can just make better decisions with your time, really. And so with time, I think I've spoken about time before, but I just want to talk about time again, because I think time and time management is the most important thing. And really, because on average, when we're born, we kind of expected we can live to about 75, give or take. But let's just go with 75, and that's about 390,000 hours, something like that. And we sleep for a third of our life. So that's just a lot of hours that goes away. I just want to get the numbers right here on this one. So. So we sleep for about a third of our life, and so that's quite a lot of hours that goes away. And then we have, so if we're sleeping for a third of our life, we've got about 438,400 hours, waking hours, available to us in our 75 years. But a lot of us, including myself, we've grown up what's, I guess, called traditional. We're expected to go to school, get good grades, and then go into university and get married and look after, take care of our parents, that sort of thing. So if we go into school and we're moving on to studying, say on average, by the time we're 25, we then go out and work. So basically, that's another of our 438,000 hours, waking hours. We'd have spent about 146,000 of those hours while we studying, and so then we've got about 292,000 waking hours left. I know the numbers may sound a bit strange without it being in front of you, but the key to remember is that now, after our 25 years of studying, we only have 292,000 waking hours. So once we finish studying, we're going to start working, and we basically work for another 40 years, because that takes us up to about 65 when we retire, although the retirement age is creeping up. But on the standard retirement age is 65 years. That's the age. Now, when you retire at 65 years, then you effectively have about 59,000 hours, waking hours left after you've retired at 65 years of age. So what society is effectively saying is that, great, you've worked for us for 40 years, every day, every week, every month, and now, yes, you can go and retire, and all those things that you really wanted to do in your life at 65, we're giving you now 59,000, say 60,000 waking hours to go and achieve all those things. And many of you will know and recognize that at 65 you can't really do what you wanted to do at 40 or at 20. So if you survive to 65 without dying or having serious illness come along with you, and you're in perfect health, you still can't do all those things that younger people can do with even though you have 60,000 waking hours. So if you look at your goals again for 2020 and beyond, and you take into account some of the things that I've mentioned before with the economy and how you protect yourself financially, and not just looking at it from your point, but the people around you as well. If people get ill or they lose their house, you have to support them through taxes or cuts to other government benefits, and where you the amount of time that you spend working and how you pay for all your expenses. If you keep that in mind and look at it from that point of view, purely financial, and you look at your goals and think, look, these are things I have to consider. Let's develop goals so that you can create additional income for yourself at a faster pace. Then I think that will help you be better set up for whatever happens in the future in our economy. And so there's lots of information there. Some of it may kind of seem like they were jumping around, especially when I talk about the numbers and the waking hours we have left. But have a listen to the recording again, and pause it in some places, and then just make some notes for yourself, and really think about it as you do your goals for 2020 and beyond, and make your goals a lot bigger than what you thought they were, or what you thought you were, what you thought you wanted. Sorry, a bit of a stutter there. So thank you for tuning in this morning, and I hope you enjoy your last 10 weeks of the year and go on to 2020 all excited and vigorous. Thank you. This is Stephen Diedrichs from Tax Isle on Money Talks with Radio Kidnappers. Thank you.